The stars looked different from the glass dome of the Earth defense vessel Intrepid. Olivia Nash stood alone, her eyes fixed on the darkness beyond. 10 years of war had changed her. The blue uniform she wore felt heavy on her shoulders. Golden, Pin showed her rank as commander. Her brown hair was tied back in a neat bun and her face showed lines of worry. "Commander, you should see this," a voice called over the ship's system. Olivia turned away from the view and walked quickly through the metal halls. Crew members moved aside for her. They all looked tired. The war with the Centaurians had gone on too long. The bridge of the Intrepid buzzed with activity. Screens flashed with data. People spoke in low, quick voices. Lieutenant Amber Reeves stood at the main control panel. Her red hair was cut short, and her green eyes were wide with surprise. "What is it, Lieutenant?" Olivia asked. Amber pointed to the main screen. "A ship just appeared, Commander. It's not one of ours, and it's not Centaurian either." The ship on the screen was unlike anything Olivia had seen before. It glowed with a soft purple light. Its shape was smooth and curved, like a leaf or a drop of water. No sharp edges or weapon ports were visible. Strange marks covered its surface, looking like writing from a lost language. "Have they made contact?" Olivia asked, stepping closer to the screen. "No, Commander, they're just waiting." Olivia thought for a moment. "Open a channel." "Channel open," Amber said after pressing some buttons. "This is Commander Olivia Nash of the Earth Defense Vessel Intrepid. Please identify yourself." The screen in front of them flickered. The bridge went silent. Everyone held their breath. An image appeared. At first, it was just a shadow. Then it cleared to show a figure that made Olivia's heart skip. The being looked almost human, but not quite. Her skin had a soft glow. Her eyes were larger than human eyes and seemed to shine with their own light. They were a deep purple color, like the night sky just after sunset. What looked like living crystal formed a crown around her head, catching light and breaking it into countless colors. "I am Zaravek," the being said. Her voice was clear but had strange music in it, like she was partly singing the words. "Sovereign, warrior of the Lysithian Armada." The translator systems worked to make sense of her speech. There was a short delay before her words came through fully. "You have not seen my kind before," Zaravek continued. "No human has. We have watched from afar." Olivia found her voice. "Why show yourself now?" "Because your end approaches." Zaravek's face showed no emotion. "The Centaurian hegemony sends a fleet larger than any you have faced. They will be here in 7 of your days. Your world will burn." The bridge erupted in voices. Olivia raised her hand for silence. "If you've come to warn us, we thank you," Olivia said carefully. "But we've been fighting the Centaurians for a decade. We know what they can do." "No." Zaravek's voice cut through the air like a blade. "You do not. What comes is beyond your understanding, beyond your ability to fight." "Then why are you here? To watch us die?" For the first time, something like emotion crossed Zaravek's face. "I offer an alliance," Amber gasped beside Olivia. Others on the bridge whispered to each other. "An alliance?" Olivia repeated. "We don't know anything about your people. The Lysithian Armada has fought the Centaurians for centuries. Our weapons can match theirs. Our ships can withstand their attacks. But there are few of us now. Too few." Olivia studied the alien's face, trying to read her intentions. "And what do you want in return for this help?" "I must speak with you directly," Zaravek said. "Not through this primitive communication. Will you come to my vessel?" Every instinct told Olivia this could be a trap, yet something in the alien's eyes suggested honesty, or perhaps it was just wishful thinking. Earth needed allies, desperately. "I will need to consult with my superiors," Olivia said. "You have 6 hours," Zaravek replied. "After that, I must leave this sector." The screen went dark. "Get Admiral Foster," Olivia ordered. "Now." 3 hours later, after heated talks with Earth Command, Olivia stood in the ship's launch bay. She wore a protective suit just in case. The small shuttle would take her to the alien vessel. 2 guards stood with her, armed but under orders not to appear threatening. "This is crazy," Amber said, helping Olivia check her suit. "We know nothing about these Lysithians." "We know they're not Centaurians," Olivia replied. "That's enough for now." "Be careful, Commander." The shuttle ride was short. As they approached the purple vessel, a doorway opened like a mouth. Light spilled out. The shuttle's pilot looked nervous but guided them in smoothly. When the door opened, Olivia was hit by strange air. It smelled like flowers and metal. The inside of the alien ship glowed. The walls pulsed with light that followed their movements, like the ship was alive and watching them. Zaravek waited for them. In person, she was taller than Olivia had expected, nearly 7 feet high. Her body was thin but looked strong. She wore armor that moved like liquid, adjusting to her every movement. It had the same purple glow as her ship. "Commander Nash," she said, her voice even more musical in person. "You are brave to come, or desperate," Olivia replied honestly. This made Zaravek tilt her head slightly. "Perhaps both. Follow me." They walked through corridors that seemed to change as they passed. The guards stayed close to Olivia, hands near their weapons. "Your defenses will not stop what comes," Zaravek said as they walked. "The Centaurians have found new technology. Ancient technology. They grow stronger. And you want to help us out of kindness?" Olivia asked. Zaravek stopped and turned. For a moment, her eyes flashed brighter. "There is no kindness in war, Commander, only necessity. If Earth falls, my people are next." They entered a large room. In the center was a round table made of the same crystal-like material as Zaravek's crown. It glowed and showed moving images of space, stars, and ships. "The Centaurian fleet," Zaravek said, pointing to red dots moving across the map. 57 war vessels, headed directly for Earth. Olivia felt cold fear in her stomach. Earth had less than 30 ships left that could fight in space. Most were smaller than the Intrepid. "How can your people help?" she asked. "You said there are few of you. We have technology you do not," Zaravek replied. "But to share it requires trust, a bond." "What kind of bond?" Zaravek moved her hand over the table. The image changed to show Earth, surrounded by a web of light. "My ship can create a shield around your planet. It can upgrade your weapons to fight the Centaurians. But I must know if humans are worthy of such power. And how do you decide that?" Zaravek looked directly at Olivia. Her eyes seemed to see through her. "I must know your mind, Commander Nash, and you must know mine." Back on the Intrepid, people argued loudly in the war room. Admiral Kate Foster hit the table with her fist. Her gray hair was cut short, and her blue eyes looked angry. She wore a uniform with many medals that showed her long years of service. "This could be a trick," she said. "These Lysithians appear from nowhere offering help. I don't trust it." Olivia stood across from her. She had just returned from the alien ship and told everyone what Zaravek had said. "Admiral, I understand your concern, but the Centaurian fleet she showed me is real. Our long-range scans confirm it." "And this mind bond?" Admiral Foster asked. "She wants to get inside your head?" "It's how her people share information," Olivia explained. "She says it's the only way to transfer the knowledge we need." The other officers in the room looked worried. Dr. Sam Wilson, the ship's medical officer, spoke up. "It could be dangerous. We don't know how her species' brain works." "What choice do we have?" Olivia asked, looking at each person. "If that Centaurian fleet reaches Earth with the weapons Zaravek described, we lose everything." Admiral Foster walked to the window. The alien ship was visible, glowing purple against the blackness of space. "I don't like it, but you're right, we're out of options." She turned back to Olivia. "You'll do this mind bond, but at the first sign of danger, we pull you out. Understand?" "Yes, Admiral." 2 hours later, Olivia was back on the Lysithian ship. This time she wore a special suit that would monitor her body signs. If anything went wrong, the Intrepid could pull her back quickly. Zaravek waited in a new room. This one was smaller and filled with soft light. In the center stood a crystal structure that looked like two hands reaching for each other. "This is the sharing chamber," Zaravek said. She had removed parts of her armor, showing more of her glowing skin. "Here, we will connect." "How does it work?" Olivia asked, trying to keep her voice steady. "You place your hand here," Zaravek pointed, to one side of the crystal. "I place mine opposite. The crystal creates a bridge between minds. Will it hurt?" Zaravek's face showed a hint of what might have been a smile. "It is intense, but not painful." Olivia took a deep breath. "What will I see?" "My memories. My knowledge. And I will see yours." "Everything?" "No. Only what you choose to share, and what I choose to show." Zaravek moved closer to the crystal. "Are you ready, Commander Nash?" Olivia nodded and stepped forward. She removed her glove and slowly placed her hand on the cool surface of the crystal. Zaravek did the same on the other side. Their hands were almost touching, separated only by the thin crystal. At first, nothing happened. Then the crystal began to glow brighter. Warmth spread up Olivia's arm. Her vision blurred. Colors swirled around her. She felt like she was falling. Then, images flooded her mind. A planet with 3 moons. Cities made of crystal and light. Ships like Zaravek's, but hundreds of them, flying in formation. Then darkness. Fire. Explosions. She saw Centaurian ships, but different from the ones Earth had fought. They were attacking the crystal cities. People were dying. Zaravek was there, younger, watching her world burn. More images came faster. Years of fighting, losses, victories that didn't last. Zaravek leading smaller and smaller groups of ships. Her people hiding, running, trying to survive as the Centaurians hunted them. Then knowledge began to flow. Ship designs, weapon systems, shield technology far beyond what Earth had. Battle strategies tested over centuries. And something else, a sense of duty so strong it was almost a physical thing. Zaravek had been fighting for so long, carrying the weight of her dying people. Olivia felt tears on her face. She couldn't tell if they were for Zaravek's losses or from the overwhelming flow of information. Then she realized Zaravek was seeing her memories too. Earth before the war, the first Centaurian attacks, friends and family lost, the endless fight to protect what remained, hope fading year by year. When the connection broke, Olivia fell to her knees. Her head pounded. Her body felt both heavy and light at the same time. She looked up to see Zaravek still standing, but leaning against the crystal for support. "Your people have suffered much," Zaravek said softly. "Yet you fight on." "So do yours," Olivia replied, slowly standing up. "We are alike in some ways." Zaravek stepped away from the crystal. "Do you understand now?" Olivia nodded. The knowledge was there in her mind. Plans for upgrading Earth's defenses, ways to modify their weapons, and a clear understanding of what they faced. "The Centaurians won't stop with Earth," she said. "They want to rule everything. Yes, they believe it is their right to control all life. We need to warn Earth Command. Get started on the upgrades." Olivia's mind was already working through what needed to be done. "There's so little time." "My ship will dock with the Intrepid," Zaravek said. "We can begin the work immediately." As they walked back to the shuttle, Olivia noticed Zaravek watching her closely. "What is it?" she asked. "You are different from what I expected," the alien replied. "In our shared thoughts, I sensed your strength, but also compassion. Few warriors maintain both through long war." "It's what makes us human," Olivia said. "Perhaps it is what makes any being worth saving," Zaravek replied. The next 3 days passed in a blur of activity. The Lysithian ship, connected to the Intrepid. Zaravek's technology began to change the Earth vessel. Weapons became stronger, shields improved. The ship's systems ran faster. Other Earth vessels came to receive the same upgrades. Captains and engineers learned what Olivia now knew. Some were suspicious of Zaravek, others were grateful. All understood what was coming. Olivia worked closely with Zaravek. The mind bond had left a connection between them. Not thoughts, but feelings sometimes passed between them. Olivia would suddenly feel a strange calm in the middle of stress, or she would sense Zaravek's presence before seeing her. On the fourth day, they stood together on the Intrepid's bridge, looking at the latest scans of the approaching Centaurian fleet. "They will be here tomorrow," Zaravek said. 23 of your hours. "Are we ready?" Olivia asked. "As ready as possible with the time we had." Zaravek turned to face her. "There is one more thing we must do." "What's that?" "I must teach you to fly my ship." Olivia's eyes widened. "Your ship? Why?" "I will lead the attack in your Intrepid. You must take my vessel to protect Earth directly." "But my ship has the strongest shields," Zaravek explained. "It can create a barrier around your planet. But it must be in exact position. The calculations—" She paused. "They are in your mind already, from our bond. You know what to do?" Olivia realized she did know. The knowledge had been there, waiting. "Why? Are you giving me your ship?" she asked. "It's your most powerful weapon." Zaravek was quiet for a moment. "Because tomorrow, Commander Nash, one of us may not survive. And if I fall, someone must continue to fight the Centaurians." "We'll both survive," Olivia said firmly. For the first time, Zaravek smiled. It changed her face completely, making her look younger, almost vulnerable. "Your human optimism is refreshing." That night, Olivia couldn't sleep. Her mind was filled with battle plans and the knowledge Zaravek had shared. But there was something else, too. In the memories she had seen, there had been moments of beauty among the fighting. Zaravek's homeworld before its destruction. Music that was played with light instead of sound. And a loneliness that had followed Zaravek for centuries. Olivia wondered if Zaravek had seen similar things in her memories. Her life before the war. The small moments of joy she still found despite everything. And her own loneliness as a commander who had to stay apart from those she led. Tomorrow they would face death together. But tonight, they were still here. Two beings from different worlds joined by a common enemy and something more that neither of them fully understood yet. The stars looked like small points of fire through the curved window of Zaravek's ship. Olivia sat in the control seat, her hands resting on surfaces that felt alive. The ship responded to her thoughts as much as her touch. It was like nothing she had ever flown before. "Earth Defense Fleet in position," came Admiral Foster's voice through the communication system. "Centaurians will exit lightspeed in 5 minutes." "Ready," Olivia replied. She glanced at the empty space beside her where Zaravek usually sat. The alien was now on the Intrepid, leading the main attack force. Through their mind link, Olivia could feel Zaravek's focus. The alien warrior was calm, prepared for battle after centuries of fighting. Olivia tried to match that calm, but her heart beat fast. This was the largest Centaurian force ever to attack Earth. 3 minutes, Admiral Foster said. Olivia guided Zaravek's ship into position near Earth. Her job was to create a shield around the planet using the Lysithian technology. The rest of the fleet would engage the Centaurians directly. 2 minutes. Olivia's hands moved over the controls, preparing the shield system. Knowledge from Zaravek flowed through her mind, guiding her actions. 1 minute. The space in front of the fleet began to shimmer. Light bent and twisted. Then they appeared. Centaurian ships, more than 50 of them. They were black with red lights, shaped like giant insects with sharp points and angles. At their center was a massive ship, twice the size of any Olivia had seen before. "That's their command vessel," Admiral Foster said. "Target all fire there." The Earth ships, upgraded with Lysithian technology, moved forward. Beams of energy shot out, hitting the Centaurian vessels. The battle had begun. Olivia activated the shield around Earth. It spread out from Zaravek's ship, a shimmering curtain of purple energy that wrapped around the planet below. If any Centaurian ships got past the fleet, they would have to break through this barrier first. "Shield active," she reported. From her position, Olivia could see the whole battle. Earth ships fought bravely, their new weapons cutting through Centaurian defenses. But there were so many enemy ships, too many. She watched as 3 Earth vessels were hit hard. One exploded in a ball of fire. The other 2 drifted, damaged beyond repair. The crews would have only minutes to escape. "We need to help them," Olivia said, her hands gripping the controls tightly. "Hold position," came Zaravek's voice. "The shield is priority." Olivia knew she was right, but it was hard to watch. Then she saw the Intrepid, moving fast through the enemy formation, firing constantly. Zaravek was a skilled commander, using the Earth ship in ways Olivia had never seen. For a moment, it seemed like they might win. The Centaurian ships were taking heavy damage, but then the command vessel moved forward. It fired a weapon unlike anything Olivia had seen, a beam of red energy that cut through an Earthship like it was paper. "What was that?" Admiral Foster demanded. "Ancient weapon," Zaravek replied, her voice tight. "They have adapted it." The command vessel turned toward the Intrepid. Olivia felt fear grip her heart. "Evasive action," she shouted, forgetting for a moment that she wasn't commanding the Intrepid anymore. The Earthship tried to move away, but the Centaurian vessel was faster than it looked. The red beam fired again. It hit the Intrepid's side, cutting deep. Olivia could see parts of the ship breaking away, fire spilling into space. "Zaravek," she called. "Status?" There was no answer. Through their mind link, Olivia felt pain. Zaravek was hurt. The Intrepid was badly damaged, losing power. Without thinking, Olivia turned Zaravek's ship away from Earth. The shield would hold for now. She pushed the engines to full power, racing toward the battle. "Commander Nash, return to position," Admiral Foster ordered. Olivia ignored her. She flew straight toward the Centaurian command vessel. It was turning to fire at another Earth ship. This gave her a chance. Zaravek's ship had weapons Olivia had not yet used. Now she activated them all. Purple energy built up around the ship, then shot forward in a wave. It hit the Centaurian vessel, making its shields flicker and fail. Olivia fired again. This time the energy cut into the enemy ship's hull. She aimed for what she knew was the power center, knowledge from Zaravek guiding her. The Centaurian command vessel shuddered. Parts of it began to break apart, but it wasn't finished. It turned toward her, the red weapon powering up again. Olivia tried to move away, but she knew she wouldn't be fast enough. The red beam was about to fire when another ship slammed into the Centaurian vessel from the side. It was the Intrepid, damaged but still fighting. The impact knocked the command vessel off course. Its weapon fired into empty space. Then more Earth ships attacked, focusing all fire on the damaged area Olivia had created. The command vessel's lights flickered. Then, with a silent flash that lit up space like a new star, it exploded. Without their command ship, the remaining Centaurians fell into disorder. Some tried to continue fighting. Others began to retreat. The Earth fleet pressed its advantage, destroying those that stayed to fight. Olivia turned Zaravek's ship toward the Intrepid. It was drifting now, power systems failing. Through their link, she could feel Zaravek was alive but weak. "This is Commander Nash," she called to the Earth fleet. "The Intrepid is critically damaged. Send rescue ships immediately." She brought Zaravek's vessel alongside the Intrepid. Using the Lysithian technology, she created a bridge of energy between the ships. It would let her cross over. "Commander, the shield around Earth," Admiral Foster reminded her. "It will hold for another hour," Olivia replied. "Send a ship to take my position." She set Zaravek's ship on automatic control and crossed the energy bridge to the Intrepid. Inside, the damage was worse than she had feared. Fires burned in some sections. The air was thin and smoky. Emergency lights cast red shadows on the walls. Olivia made her way to the bridge. Bodies lay in the corridors. Some crew members were still at their posts. trying to save their ship. They looked at her with surprise as she passed. Her time in Zaravek's ship had left traces of purple energy clinging to her uniform. The bridge was in chaos. Screens were broken. Control panels sparked with electricity. In the center, still in the commander's chair, was Zaravek. Purple blood ran from a cut on her face. Her armor was damaged, no longer flowing like liquid but broken in places. "Zaravek," Olivia said, kneeling beside her. The alien's eyes opened slowly. They still glowed but were dimmer now. "You left your position," she said, her voice weak. "I couldn't let you die. The shield is holding. We destroyed the command vessel. The Centaurians are retreating." Zaravek tried to sit up straighter. "You should not have risked yourself." "That's not how humans treat their allies," Olivia said. She began to check Zaravek's injuries. The cut on her face wasn't the worst. There was a deep wound in her side, where her armor had failed. "Medical team to the bridge," Olivia called into her communicator. She pressed her hand against the wound, trying to stop the bleeding. "Hold on, help is coming." Zaravek looked at her with confusion. "Why do you care if I live or die? I have served my purpose. The knowledge is shared." "That's not why I care," Olivia said firmly. "You're more than just useful technology to us, to me." Something changed in Zaravek's eyes. A question formed there, but before she could ask it, the medical team arrived. They moved Olivia aside and began to work on Zaravek's wounds. They had never treated a Lysithian before, but the mind bond had given Olivia knowledge of their biology. She gave instructions, helping the doctors understand what to do. Hours later, in the medical bay of another Earth ship, Zaravek rested in a special chamber filled with light. The doctors had done their best, following Olivia's guidance. Now, they had to wait. Olivia sat beside the chamber, watching Zaravek's chest rise and fall with shallow breaths. The battle was over. Earth had won thanks to the Lysithian technology and Zaravek's leadership. The remaining Centaurian ships had jumped away to light speed. They would return eventually, but Earth now had better defenses. Through their mind, Olivia could feel Zaravek's life force weak but steady. She reached out with her thoughts, trying to send strength and comfort. What came back surprised her. Images and feelings from Zaravek's mind, confusion about Olivia's actions, wonder at human emotions, and something else, something Zaravek had hidden during their first mind bond, loneliness that went beyond the loss of her people. A personal loneliness, the weight of centuries spent fighting without connection to others. Olivia stayed by the chamber all night. Admiral Foster came to debrief her, but seeing her exhaustion left it for later. Crew members brought her food and water, which she barely touched. Her focus remained on Zaravek, willing her to heal. Near morning, the alien's eyes opened. They were brighter now, closer to their normal glow. "You're still here?" Zaravek said, her voice stronger than before. "Of course," Olivia replied. "How do you feel?" "My body heals." Zaravek looked around the medical bay. "The Centaurians?" "Gone for now. We won." Zaravek nodded slightly. "Good." She was quiet for a moment, then asked, "Why did you leave your position to help me?" Olivia hadn't fully answered this question before. Now she said simply, "Because I care what happens to you." "Why?" Zaravek seemed genuinely confused. "In war, losses are expected. One life against many." "That's not how I see it," Olivia interrupted. "Every life matters, including yours. Even though I am not human." 2 weeks passed. Earth celebrated its victory against the Centaurians. The cities that remained after years of war held parades and parties. For the first time in a decade, people felt hope. On the new Earth command ship, the Defender, Olivia, sat in her quarters looking at reports. The Intrepid had been too damaged to repair. Many good people had been lost in the battle. But thanks to Zaravek's technology, Earth now had better defenses. The shield system had been installed around the planet permanently. Zaravek had recovered from her injuries. Her body healed faster than humans. She now had quarters next to Olivia's. The Earth leaders had asked her to stay and help strengthen their defenses further. She had agreed, but Olivia sensed there was more to her decision. Their mind link remained, a faint connection that let them sense each other's feelings and sometimes thoughts. It was strongest when they were close to each other. Olivia had grown used to the alien presence in her mind. It was comforting in a strange way. A light flashed on Olivia's desk. Someone was at her door. "Come in," she called. The door slid open to reveal Diane Wright, one of Earth's intelligence officers. She was a serious woman with short black hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. "Commander Nash," she said formally. "I need to speak with you, privately." Olivia put down her reports. "What is it, Officer Wright?" Diane closed the door and came closer. Her voice dropped to a near whisper. "It's about our Lysithian ally." Something cold settled in Olivia's stomach. "What about her?" "We've been monitoring communications from her ship," Diane said. "Standard security protocol. And we've detected transmissions sent to somewhere in the outer solar system. Encrypted." Olivia frowned. "Zaravek told us she's the last of her kind in this sector. Who would she be communicating with? That's what concerns us." Diane placed a data pad on the desk. It showed signal patterns. These began shortly after the battle. They increase whenever Zaravek visits her ship. "Have you decoded them?" "Partially. Enough to know they mention something called the progenitor key." Olivia tried to search her memories from the mind link, but found nothing about this key. Had Zaravek hidden information from her? "There's more," Diane continued. "Our deep space scans show an object in the Kuiper belt that wasn't there before. It's using some kind of cloaking technology, but our new sensors can detect it." "A ship?" "We think so. Not Centaurian design." Olivia stood up. "I need to speak with Zaravek." "Commander," Diane said carefully, "perhaps we should bring her in for questioning, with security." "No," Olivia said firmly. "If she wanted to harm us, she could have let the Centaurians destroy Earth. I'll talk to her first." Diane looked like she wanted to argue but nodded. "As you wish, Commander, but be careful." After Diane left, Olivia sat for a long time thinking. Could she have been wrong about Zaravek? Was there some hidden plan she didn't know about? The mind link had seemed so complete, so honest. But maybe that was what Zaravek wanted her to believe. Finally, she got up and went next door to Zaravek's quarters. She pressed the call button. "Enter," came Zaravek's voice. The door opened. The room inside looked different from standard quarters. The lights were dimmer with a purple tint. The air smelled like strange flowers. Zaravek sat cross-legged on the floor, her eyes closed. She appeared to be meditating. Her armor was off, replaced by a simple white garment that glowed softly against her skin. "Olivia," she said without opening her eyes. "You are troubled." The mind link, of course. Zaravek could feel her emotions. "We need to talk," Olivia said. Zaravek opened her eyes and stood up in one smooth motion. "What is wrong?" "You tell me." Olivia crossed her arms. "What is the progenitor key?" Zaravek went very still. Her eyes flickered, the glow changing briefly. "Where did you hear that term?" "We detected your transmissions. To a ship hiding in the Kuiper belt. Care to explain?" For a long moment, Zaravek said nothing. Then she sighed, a very human gesture she must have picked up recently. "I should have told you sooner," she admitted. "But I was not sure if humans were ready." "Ready for what?" "The truth about why the Centaurians want your world." Zaravek moved to the window, looking out at the stars. "It is not just territory they seek. It is what lies beneath." "Beneath what? Earth's surface?" Zaravek nodded. "Long before your civilization began, before even my people reached the stars, there were others. We call them the Ancient Ones. They traveled the galaxy, seeding worlds with life, including Earth and my homeworld." Olivia moved closer, her anger mixed with curiosity. "Go on." "The Ancient Ones left behind artifacts, tools of great power. On my world, These artifacts were destroyed when the Centaurians attacked. But on Earth, they remain hidden. And one of these is the progenitor key? Yes. It is difficult to explain in your language. It is a device that can control the other artifacts. With it, one could have power beyond imagining, power to create or destroy. And you came to Earth to find it before the Centaurians could, Olivia said, understanding now. The alliance was just a cover. No. Zarovek turned to face her. The alliance was real. Earth needed protection. My people needed allies, but yes, I also came to find the key. Why hide this from me? From Earth? Would your leaders have trusted me if they knew? Would they have believed that I seek to protect the key, not use it? Zarovek's eyes were intense. The Centaurians would use it to conquer all life. My people have guarded the secret of these artifacts for millennia. And the ship in the Kuiper Belt? The last of my kind in this system. Warriors and scholars who have dedicated their lives to finding and protecting the ancient artifacts. Olivia felt a mix of betrayal and understanding. You should have trusted me with this. Perhaps, Zarovek admitted. But after centuries of keeping this secret, trust does not come easily. Before Olivia could respond, her communicator beeped urgently. Commander Nash to the bridge. Emergency. They rushed to the bridge together. Admiral Foster was there, looking at the main screen, with a grim expression. What is it, Admiral? Olivia asked. A Centaurian ship just appeared in orbit, Foster said. Bigger than any we've seen before. It's requesting communication. They're back already? This is different. Look. The screen showed the ship. It was unlike typical Centaurian design. Parts of it glowed with strange energy that reminded Olivia of Zarovek's technology. They've incorporated ancient technology, Zarovek said quietly. They must have found another artifact. Open the channel, Admiral Foster ordered. The screen changed to show a Centaurian. They looked insect-like with a hard exoskeleton and compound eyes. This one wore elaborate armor with glowing parts. Humans, the Centaurian said, its voice translated by the computer. I am High Commander Drekthar, of the Centaurian hegemony. You have something that belongs to us. We have nothing of yours, Admiral Foster replied. Do not play games. The progenitor key is on your world. Give it to us and we may spare your planet. Zarovek stepped forward. They lie. If they get the key, they will still destroy Earth. Drekthar's compound eyes shifted to Zarovek. Ah, the last Lysithian. Still clinging to your misguided mission? The artifacts are not yours to protect, nor yours to use, Zarovek shot back. We have evolved beyond your understanding. With the artifact we already possess, we have created weapons you cannot match. Surrender the key or witness power you cannot imagine. As if to demonstrate, the Centaurian ship fired a beam of energy at Earth's moon. Where it hit, the surface melted and changed, forming strange patterns that glowed. You have 6 hours to deliver the key, Drekthar said, or we will use this weapon on your cities. The screen went dark. Silence fell on the bridge. Then everyone began talking at once. Quiet, Admiral Foster shouted. When order returned, she turned to Zarovek. You need to tell us everything, now. Where is this key? I don't know its exact location, Zarovek admitted. The transmissions were to coordinate our search. We believe it is hidden beneath one of your oceans, but the specific area is unclear. And if the Centaurians get it, they would have power to reshape matter itself. No world would be safe. Admiral Foster looked at Olivia. Commander Nash, you know her better than anyone. Do you believe this? Olivia looked at Zarovek. Through their mind link, she could feel the alien's sincerity and also her fear. Not fear for herself, but for what might happen if the Centaurians succeeded. Yes, Olivia said. I believe her. Then we need to find this key before they do, Foster decided. And we need a plan to deal with that ship. My people in the Kuiper Belt can help, Zarovek said. Their ship has weapons that might counter the Centaurian technology, but they will need time to reach us. How much time? 5 hours at maximum speed. That's cutting it close, Foster said. But it's our best option. She turned to her officers. Prepare all defenses and get me Earth Command. They need to know what we're facing. As the bridge erupted into activity, Olivia pulled Zarovek aside. Is there anything else you haven't told me? Anything that could help us? Zarovek hesitated, then said, The mind link between us. It's stronger than I let you believe. If we deepen it, I might be able to sense the key's location through you. Through me? How? Humans evolved on the world where the key is hidden. You have a connection to it that my people lack. With a stronger bond, we might be able to find it before the Centaurians attack. The ocean stretched out in all directions, deep blue under the morning sun. A small ship skimmed over the surface, leaving a trail of white foam behind it. Inside, Olivia and Zarovek watched a screen showing the depths below. We're close, Zarovek said. Her armor had reformed around her body, ready for whatever they might face. The entrance should be just ahead. Olivia nodded. After their deepened mind link, she could feel the progenitor keys pull too. It was like a humming in her bones, getting stronger as they approached. Behind them sat a team of Earth's best soldiers, armed with weapons upgraded with Lysithian technology. They looked nervous but determined. None of them had ever been on a mission like this before. 2 miles ahead, said the pilot, a young woman named Lisa Chen. Water depth increasing rapidly. That's it, Olivia said. The underwater canyon. The entrance is at the bottom. They had less than 3 hours before the Centaurians' deadline. Above, in orbit, Earth's fleet prepared for battle, joined by Zarovek's people from the Kuiper belt. Their ship had arrived an hour ago, sleek and purple like Zarovek's but much larger. It carried the last 27 Lysithians in the solar system. The small ship slowed as they reached the coordinates. The water here was darker, deeper than the surrounding ocean. Activating submersion mode, Lisa announced. The ship shuddered, slightly as its systems changed. Wings folded in. Special shields formed around the hull. Then they began to sink beneath the waves. Down they went, deeper into the darkness. The ship's lights cut through the gloom, showing strange fish that darted away at their approach. The pressure increased as they descended, but the ship's systems compensated, keeping them safe. 5,000 feet, Lisa reported. 6,000, 7. They reached the bottom of the canyon after 10 minutes of descent. It was a flat plain of dark sand, broken by rock formations. Their lights showed no obvious entrance to anything. You sure this is it? Asked Sergeant Tom Miller, the team leader. Yes, Olivia and Zarovek said together. They shared a glance, both feeling the key's presence strongly now. Zarovek moved to the front of the ship. She placed her hand on the wall near the view screen. Her skin glowed brighter, pulsing with energy. What are you doing? Olivia asked. Calling. To it, Zarovek replied. The Ancient One's technology responds to specific energy patterns. Her hand glowed brighter. The light seemed to pass through the ship's hull, spreading out into the water. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the sand on the ocean floor began to move, swirling away from a central point as if blown by wind. A structure appeared beneath the sand. Smooth metal, covered with markings similar to those on Zarovek's ship. It was round, about 30 feet across, with no visible doors or windows. The entrance, Zarovek said. As if responding to her words, a section of the structure slid open, revealing a dark passage large enough for their ship to enter. Take us in, Olivia ordered. Lisa guided the ship forward carefully. They passed through the opening into a tunnel that led downward. The walls glowed softly, providing just enough light to see. After several minutes of descent, they emerged into a vast underground chamber. It was so large their lights couldn't reach the far walls. The ceiling arched high above them, covered in the same glowing material as the tunnel. Below was not water, but air. Their ship floated above a dry floor made of some black material that reflected their lights like glass. Impossible, Lisa whispered. We're miles under the ocean. How is there air here? The Ancient One's technology, Zarovek explained. It maintains this space, keeps the water out. It has done so for thousands of your years. They landed the ship on the smooth floor. Scans showed the air was breathable, though it smelled strange. It's like metal and ozone. Stay alert, Sergeant Miller told his team as they prepared to exit. We don't know what's waiting out there. The door opened with a hiss. Olivia stepped out first, followed by Zarovek. The soldiers came after. Weapons.
Ready.
The chamber was silent except for the echo of their footsteps. As they moved forward, lights activated in the floor, creating a path for them to follow. The path led to a central platform raised slightly above the main floor. On it stood a single pedestal made of the same black material. The key is here, Zarovek said, her voice hushed with reverence. After centuries of searching, they approached the pedestal carefully. It appeared empty at first glance, but as they got closer, the air above it shimmered. Something began to take shape. A crystal similar to the one in Zarovek's sharing chamber, but smaller, fitting in the palm of a hand. It glowed with shifting colors that hurt the eyes if watched too long. Is that it? Olivia asked. It's smaller than I expected. Size means nothing with the Ancient One's technology, Zarovek replied. Its power comes from what it connects to, not what it is. Can we just take it? No. There will be safeguards, tests to prove worthiness. As if confirming her words, the floor around the pedestal lit up with symbols. They shifted and changed, forming patterns that seemed to move in impossible ways. What does it say? Sergeant Miller asked. It's not exactly language, Zarovek said, studying the symbols. More like concepts, ideas. She was quiet for a moment, then continued. It asks for proof of understanding, of cooperation between different minds. Like our mind link? Olivia suggested. Yes. I think we must join minds here, before the pedestal, to show we can work together, despite our differences. Olivia hesitated only briefly. Let's do it. They stood on opposite sides of the pedestal. Without the crystal from the sharing chamber, they had to rely on the connection already established between them. They reached out with their minds, seeking each other. The link formed more easily this time. Their thoughts merged, memories flowing between them. But now the key joined the connection, its ancient consciousness touching theirs. Images flashed through their joined minds, stars being born, worlds forming, life evolving. The history of the galaxy, seen through the eyes of beings who had traveled it before humans or Lysithians existed. Then came a question, not in words, but in feelings and concepts. Why do you seek the key? Through their link, they answered truthfully. To protect, to prevent destruction, to preserve life in all its forms. Another question. Would you use its power? Again, they answered with honesty. Only if necessary. Only to defend, never to control. The connection deepened. The key searched their minds more thoroughly, examining their beliefs, their actions, their hearts. Olivia felt exposed, every thought and feeling laid bare. But Zarovek was there with her, their minds supporting each other through the examination. Finally, the key seemed satisfied. The connection began to fade, leaving them standing before the pedestal, separate again but forever changed by what they had shared. The crystal on the pedestal solidified fully. It floated up, then moved toward Olivia, hovering before her. It has chosen you, Zarovek said, surprise in her voice. Why me? You're the one who's been searching for it. Perhaps because you are of this world. Or perhaps it sees something in you that I do not. Olivia carefully took the crystal. It felt warm in her hand, pulsing slightly like a heartbeat. Now what? She asked. Before Zarovek could answer, a voice spoke from behind them. Now you give it to me. They turned to see High Commander Drekthar standing at the edge of the platform. Behind him were a dozen Centaurian soldiers, weapons aimed at Olivia's team. Several Earth soldiers lay on the ground, not moving. How did you find this place? Zarovek demanded. We followed you, of course. Drekthar moved forward, his insect-like body making clicking sounds on the floor. Our ship detected your descent. While your fleet prepares for a battle in orbit, We slipped past your defenses. The deadline was a distraction. Now, human, give me the key. Olivia clutched the crystal tighter. Never. Drekthar's mandibles clicked in what might have been a laugh. Brave, but foolish. With the artifact we already possess, we can destroy your world from orbit. Give us the key and perhaps we will spare some of your species as servants. The remaining Earth soldiers moved closer to Olivia, ready to fight despite the overwhelming odds. Zaravek stepped in front of her protectively. Even if you kill us, she said to Drekthar, you cannot use the key. It has chosen this human. It will only work for her now. Drekthar paused, his compound eyes shifting slightly. Then we will take her too. I would die first, Olivia said. That can be arranged. After you have served our purpose. Drekthar raised his weapon. It glowed with the same strange energy they had seen the Centaurian ship use on the moon. The air around it warped and twisted. In that moment, Olivia felt the crystal grow warmer in her hand. The key was responding to the threat, to her fear and determination. Through the remnants of their mind link, she felt Zaravek's alarm. Be careful, the alien's thoughts warned. Its power is beyond understanding. But Olivia did understand somehow. The key had shown her during their connection. She knew what to do. She held the crystal up. It began to glow brighter, colors swirling within it faster. Energy spread from it, flowing around her and Zaravek, creating a shield just as Drekthar fired. The Centaurian weapon's energy hit the shield and scattered, harmless. Drekthar fired again with the same result. Kill them all, he ordered his soldiers. They opened fire, but none of their weapons could penetrate the shield. Olivia focused on the key directing its energy.